Let's welcome in our morning guest. Shrikant Shetty of Motilal Oswal is with me here in India Bull studio. We also have Siddharth Sedani from Anand Rathi, as well as Samit Chavan is with us. Vishal Malkan will join us quite soon. Siddharth, let me start with you. This sort of listless move that we are seeing in the market, what are the picks that you would want to buy in such a market?
Well, this market seems to be a little sideways in moment and no fresh triggers for 2016 now. So in this scenario, we would like to go with an NBFC, that is Bajaj Finance, the Bajaj Finserv. It has a strong general as well as a life insurance company which has a tie-up with Bajaj Allianz. And the subsidiary, that is Bajaj Finance, is also doing good, although there would be a blip in terms of, because of demonetization, there could be a little bit of a slowdown in terms of consumer loans and so on and so forth. But what we believe is that can be picked up very soon. If you can look at 25% CAGR growth in last 4 years, what we expect is in coming 2 years, we can see 25% growth with Bajaj Finserv. Along with that, what we value it at 2.3 times price to book for FY18. We like the story with a target of 3415. Along with that, in terms of two-wheeler space, we like TVS Motors. In the two-wheeler space, it has grown last quarter 19% compared to the industry averages. So the numbers are coming good. If in fact the November sales numbers were also better than Hero and Bajaj Auto. So TVS Motors we like in terms of numbers, and 10% EBITDA margins is what company is expecting in coming year, which is around 6.5 to 6.7%. So overall, what we believe is the volume growth coming up and the tie-ups which they have done with BMW. I think those new models and products will be coming out. I think that will add up to the product mix. So we like TVS Motors in the two-wheeler space, and we believe that TVS Motors can be an outperformer in the entire two-wheeler space.
Right. Shrikant, what will be your picks?
We're looking at 3 picks out here. Primarily, we're looking at sectors which remain largely unaffected by the demonetization. So we're continuing with that theme. So looking at pharma, looking at software, where they will be least impacted. So we're looking at granules, where I think the valuations are attractive. The stock is corrected from the top. So again, that's a stock which we like. The other one is Aurobindo Pharma, where again has seen a lot of correction, some negative news on base of litigation or legal suits. So all these things have impacted the stock as well. And an overall correction, pharma has been underperformer. So we've seen a lot of correction happening in Aurobindo Pharma. The stock is attractive at about 14 times forward valuations. So that stock looks attractive. So we have an investment target about 1050 there. The third one is Tech Mahindra, which again, if you look at the software space, there's been a lot of correction there in that space. And Tech Mahindra looks attractive at this juncture, trading at just about 12 times forward valuations. We've seen some sectors which are operating seeing some traction. The telecom business, most of the downside seems to be over. We should see margin improvements going ahead, and volume growth should also be coming through. So in terms of relative outperformance, we expect Tech Mahindra to be better within the technology pack, where we should see some amount of growth coming through in the margins. And as I said, valuations are attractive, so downsides look very limited. And if things start playing out as we're expecting in terms of growth, we should see upsides, and we have a target about 560 for the same.
All right, 560 for Tech Mahindra. Smith, what are your topics this day?
We are still optimistic on the market. We have seen a consolidation in last 4 or 5 days, which is quite possible. We generally see such kind of lack of participation toward the fag end of the calendar year. But we would maintain our positive view on the market as long as the 8056 remains intact. Thus, we would go with 3 long ideas. First one would be on Reliance Infra, which has clearly given a decisive breakout during yesterday's session with rise in volumes. Thus, going ahead, we expect the stock to extend these gains towards 530, which would be a near-term target. Stop loss can be placed at 492. Our other buy call would be on Tata Chem, We have been optimistic in this stock since last 2-3 weeks. However, this stock has corrected off late from higher levels. But we believe that 480, 475 seems to be a very strong support, and yesterday we saw good traction in this counter. Thus today also we expect this stock to give a decent move. Our immediate target in the near term would be around 524. Stop loss would be around 475. And our third buy would be on KPIT Tech, which had given a decisive breakout from its multiple resistance of 135, 136 last week. And since last 3 days, it's been maintaining its position beyond its strong support. Thus, going ahead, we expect the stock to climb towards 147. Stop loss would be around 132.
All right. We also have Vishal Malkan joining us now. Vishal, what are your top picks?
I would like to go with two picks for today, and one of them would be Engineers India, which has done well in yesterday's session. I'll go with a buy on that with a stop of 310 for targets of 330 and 340. And the second one would be HCL Tech, which I think is having a good setup on daily charts as well as a weekly chart. And IT stocks overall looking good. So I will go with a buy on that with a stop of 810 for targets of 860 and 80 in the next few trading sessions.
Right, these are the picks that are coming in from our morning guest. Apart from that, some of the other names that will be in focus because of news flow. So all the Tata Group stocks should be in focus. Of course, the development between or the news update between Cyrus Mistry and Ratan Tata tends to continue. Tata Elxsi, Tata Coffee, Tata Motors, all of it will be in focus. Yesterday, maybe not in a surprise move, but definitely a development to track. Cyrus Mistry has resigned from all the listed company of Tata firms. Also in the statement, Mr. Mistry mentioned that he will take the campaign where the rule of law and equity is upheld, basically saying that in terms of EGMs for his vote, he would want to resign itself and then go ahead and fight this into probably the law system as far as this battle is concerned. Also in a common bite to all the media, he addressed and expressed why he is doing it. Let's listen in.
Having reflected deeply, I think it is time to shift gears, up the momentum, and be more incisive in securing the best interests of the Tata Group. In order to be more effective, serve the objective of governance reform, and to regain lost ethical ground, I have decided to shift from the forum of EGMs to a larger platform, and also one where the rule of law and equity is upheld.
Also to this, Tata Sons and Tata Sons board have responded. So they have said that Mr. Mistry's resignation is a deliberate strategy. Mistry knew fully about the overwhelming shareholder response not into his support, and that's why he continues to make baseless allegation. That's what Tata Sons have said. However, they will respond adequately to all the allegations that have been made and strongly claim about the values at Tata Group. So they have responded to this by saying that these are baseless allegations, and in the due course of time, they would go ahead and respond to all of these.
Right, so we will keep a watch out on all the Tata stocks for the day today. There could be a negative move because, it was when the spat broke out, a lot of people said that if this moves to the courts, then it will definitely get prolonged and will be negative for the Tata Group stocks. Let's move on and discuss some of the pharmaceutical stocks. The pharmaceutical space has been on the losing end after some news developments with the Department of Justice investigations. But now what we are getting in from Sun Pharma is that Sun Pharma has withdrawn 28 ANDA applications that it had filed with the US FDA. These 28 drugs were ANDAs which are filed by Ranbaxy earlier. So they acquired Ranbaxy, and the ANDAs filed by Ranbaxy earlier, 28 in number, have been withdrawn by Sun Pharma. Then we've got Cipla is looking to raise about 2,000 crore rupees by share sale, and this 2,000 crore rupees will be less than 5% of market cap if you calculate by the closing price a day earlier. Wockhardt has said that the UK drugs regulator has cut inspection frequency of its unit to 2 years, and the Chikalthana manufacturing unit's approval status continues. So these are some of the pharmaceutical stocks that we'll be watching on these news developments.
Right. SKS Microfinance, or now known as Bharat Financial Inclusion, is also in focus. Remember, since November 8th, it has seen a big fall of 27%. This is based on yesterday's closing. And from December 9th, the selling seemed to have been slightly higher, so about 16 to 17% decline. Bharat Financial has given an update or a presentation regarding the business post demonetization. This is the second presentation that they have given to investors. So cumulative collection efficiency has gone up to 91%. Remember, pre-demonetization, it was close to 98%. Proportions of center with zero collection was 4.2%, which was earlier. Now it's about 1.4%. Disbursements have been at about 970 crores since the time of demonetization. That's 9th of November. UP and Maharashtra account for maximum shortfalls in correction. However, one has to note that this is an update only coming in post November 8th, where investors have been concerned as to what happens. Just look at the stock price. This is yesterday's closing. So about 6% decline is what it saw yesterday. And we saw earlier that from November 8th, it's almost seen about 20-25% in terms of a fall.
All right, there are a few other stocks we are going to watch out on news developments. Of course, Tata Coffee. The news is that it's looking to set up an instant coffee facility in Vietnam. Then the Steel Authority of India, there are reports saying that it is in talks with Japan's Nippon Steel in Kobe for a tie-up. Then we have Granules India. Its Omnichem facility has completed its first US FDA inspection, and the inspection has ended with 7 observations. Then we have OptoCircuit. It has got an order worth 91 crore rupees from Philips. So these are some of the stocks that we keep watch on.
Right. Just about 2 to 3 minutes remaining for markets to open. Expected to be a soft opening. Shrikant, I just wanted your views on some of the names like SKS Microfinance or Bharat Financial. These 45-50 days will be tough, but do you expect that markets have discounted Q3, Q4 will be tough?
Yeah, I think markets have discounted that, and the stock has corrected substantially. If you look at it, at these valuations, they look attractive, provided things stabilize in about a month or so. That's what one would assume that it will be. If you look at how the recovery has taken shape, even in Bharat from November to December, we are seeing a lot of recovery which has happened. So some disbursements happened. Obviously, there is some amount of slowdown in disbursements, and there are issues in collections which are there, and that's what the market has reacted for. So a large part of it has got discounted. It's just that this could continue for some time, and that's the fear. Otherwise, I think some of these microfinance or NBFCs look pretty attractive from a long-term perspective.
Right, and also, if you just could give your call on Bharat Financial, would you want to buy now, or as you said that there is uncertainty, even though there is correction, you would just want to wait for Q3 data, maybe even the Q4 data before you take a call?
See, when you buy in uncertainty, you get it at a lower price point. If you wait for certainty, you buy it at a higher price point largely. So taking that into consideration, one would like to buy into it. Given that there could be volatility, which will have to bear it.
Right. Vishal, what would be your view on Sun Pharma? It's a name which has continuously corrected. It has also got some negative news flow. But how do you look at Sun Pharma?
I look at technically the stock is already weak on daily as well as weekly chart, and there is further downside. We can look at target levels of around 600, which can act as a good support. So definitely not a buy right now, and around 600 we can see if there's any chance or any kind of patterns which form, then only we can look at buy right now.
Right, just about 10-15 seconds remaining for markets to open. Pharma stocks will be in focus. Anisha took you through various pharma stocks that will be in news today. Apart from that, Granules will be in focus. Sun Pharma has been in the news for the last few days. Bharat Financial has given an update. All of these stocks, Tata stocks, what happens over there is something which could be quite interesting to watch. Just about seconds away from markets to open. We should get the opening prices anytime soon. 6 points higher for the Nifty. Tata Steel is on the higher side. Sun Pharma 634. Reliance 5 points down, or 5 rupees down. Rather, BHEL 121, no change. Sun Pharma 632 now. ICICI Bank 2 rupees on the lower side, 255. Tata Power 77 rupees. ITC up about 0.5%. BOB around 160 rupees. Asian Paints 10 paisa here and there, 877. But it's been a weak stock. Since the time demonetization has taken place. NTPC 0.5% higher. Axis Bank up about a rupee or so. Hindalco 60 paisa on the lower side, 168. Bharti Airtel about 1 rupee on the downside. Coal India, there has been an initiation from Goldman on Coal India with a buy and a 25% potential upside. Maybe that's why it's up around 1% or so. No other news flow that I can see on Coal India. Tata Power is among the top gainers, but it's really not gone anywhere for a few years, and that's why it just continues to be in that range. Bharti Infratel has been losing out for last few days. Maybe that's why just some bit of reaction on the positive side. ITC is up around 1% or so. ITC, remember, is one of the big heavyweights. Some of the other names that are doing well, so Tata Steel is up 0.75, Cipla is up 0.8. They have approved fundraising. Sun Pharma is up around 0.8%. Aurobindo Pharma is now the top loser. It's down around 2%. There are some news reports which suggest that Unit 1 of Aurobindo Pharma has got a Form 483. Still no details are available. But I'd looked at the Unit 1. It's about 4 to 5% of their entire sales. So it's not pretty big, but you'll have to wait and watch as to what happens on that. Bharat Financials, no particular movement, about 601, 602 for Bharat Financial. No clear change that we can see at this point of time. They've given an update, but probably the street is just waiting for more. Sun Pharma, let's look at that one. They have withdrawn some drugs, but again, these drugs had become old. There was no particular movement over there. Maybe that's why it's just moving into this particular range. Cipla has announced that they would be looking in at fundraising, or they've taken approval, but it's 2,000 crores of equity, so it's not much when you consider their size. Wockhardt is up around 2.5%. Remember, news flow regarding Chikalthana facility has been on the higher side. That's why maybe it's reacting to that. So about 2% higher for Wockhardt right now. Anisha, any names that you can pick up in terms of volume buzzers?
Well, Pankaj, we've got Opto Circuits that has moved up very well today. It's up 15%. Of course, we have news that it's backed an order worth 91 crore rupees from Philips. So, on volumes, that stock is moving higher. We've got Alok Industries and Swan Energy back again on the winning spree. They're up more than 5%. We've got Titagar Wagons, SRDI, Infrastructure Finance also looking up. You mentioned Wockhardt. That is also amongst the gainers today. On the losing end, we've got Treehouse again down 5%. Treehouse has been losing a lot of ground. Even before we got the news that the deal with Z-Media is off, Treehouse down 5%. We've got Granules India down 3%. Aurobindo Pharma back to losing. It's down 2%. We've got Indiabulls Real Estate also down about 1/7%. So these are the stocks that are losing ground today. Now let's go back to our guest, Shrikant. Do you get any sense of deja vu? Because last year we were in nearly the same spot. The US Fed had raised interest rates, and they just had to do it because their credibility was on the line. Nothing happened much, for the markets post the decision. Till January, because the markets in December had low volumes. They didn't go anywhere, and everybody thought, the markets have digested the US Fed rate hike quite well. And then came January and all hell broke loose. Can something like this happen again, January 2017?
No, it doesn't look like that. I mean, if something has to happen, it has to be more because of domestic economy rather than, I think, what Fed has done. I think the Fed has more or less done what was expected. And I think they've given a very clear indication that there could be three more hikes going ahead in the next year. So I think that's fairly understood by the markets and discounted. If you look at the flows, FI flows have been negative. We have seen currency depreciate. We have seen US dollar appreciate. So I think broad things have gone in place. US bond yields have gone to 2.5, 2.6, and probably expected to go a bit higher. So yes, that trend is bound to remain. That the US dollar strength or emerging currency weakness. I think that broad trend will continue. But India has been primarily affected because of more of Indian issues, domestic issues, rather than international ones. If you look at the sectors which have gone through a correction, it's primarily domestic ones, consumption-linked plays which have got affected. The rest have actually not got affected. If you look at software, pharma, power, utility, defense, all these things are actually probably moving higher rather than moving lower. So in that sense, the market has been smart, and accordingly the money rotation has happened. So unless the domestic situation improves, I think that's what will be critical for markets to play out. I don't think we should be too much worried about what will happen in the international market.
Right. How do you look at the pharma pack, Shrikant? You mentioned, I think, Aurobindo as a part of your top list. It's now down about 3% Maybe there is some news flow regarding Form 483. But, do you think that, all these stocks are coming into a value zone now? Even if there is a Form 483 and things are not material over there, you would still want to buy?
Right. I mean, if you look at the stocks which I mentioned, most of them are trading in the 10 to 14 time kind of valuation zone, where if you look at forward valuation, they look fairly attractive. So in the current environment, yes, stocks can be volatile, and they could lose 5-10% here and there. But what we're talking about is from 1.5, 2 year perspective. You're looking at stocks. Most of these stocks probably are in a potential to deliver about 50% kind of returns. So I think these are great opportunities one should look at. Of course, the individual pharma companies tend to have individual issues. I mean, if the US FDA issues concerns arise and the plants are relevant to the overall scheme of things, then maybe we need to get worried. But broadly, I think these should get taken care of over a period.
Right. Siddharth, how would you look at the pharma pack?
Well, in terms of pharma pack, there is a lot of pain in the pharma pack. Companies like Sun Pharma, which we don't have any rating, but what we believe is in the pharma pack, there would be a long wait because of what we're seeing in last 24 months, the kind of US FDA alerts and scrutinies which is coming by. I think it is still not stopping. So pharma as a pack is a little worrisome, but I think there are also good stock picks in that. Companies in the mid-cap space like Suven Life Science or Ajanta Pharma, which looks quite attractive with a medium to long-term perspective, although their manufacturing facilities is not that deeply targeted by US FDA. But I think Suven Life Science in the mid-cap space and Ajanta Pharma, both of them looks very interesting with a medium to long-term perspective.
Right. Vishal, in terms of some of the names in the large cap space, how would you essentially look at the tech pack? So something like a Infosys, probably something like a TCS. Tactically, they could be buy on the fundamental side, but how are they looking on the charts?
Yeah, as I mentioned in one of my pick, HCL Tech, that tech stocks are doing better and they have formed a good pattern on daily and weekly charts, and look for it looks like they are set for a rally, and I would definitely bet on them from the long side, and my best pick would be Tech Mahindra and HCL Tech for the next couple of months.
Right. How would you look at Prestige Estates? Now, this is a mid-cap real estate company which has done very well since the last few days. So from the levels of 140, I think it's gone to 170 in the last month or so. Prestige Estate on charts?
Yeah, I think Prestige Estate did very well in the last 2 weeks, especially from 140 to 165, but facing some resistance around 170 is a strong resistance. Once it manages to cross that, then only we can look at further upside, or we can buy on dips where there's an important support of around 152 and 155. There, if it comes and takes a support, that would be a low risk entry for Prestige Estate.
Right. Samit, your view on real estate? Let's start with the Prestige Estates and then on the index as well.
See, if we look at the overall price action of Prestige in last, say, 2 to 3 months, this has been trading with a negative bias. Last month, this stock broke its important support of 175, 170. And now, due to modest recovery in last probably 2 weeks, this stock is now again retesting those levels. So earlier support would now act as a very strong resistance. So 170, 175, yes, would be seen as a major resistance. But yes, once the stock surpasses this level, then we could see extension of this move. Otherwise, we would expect the stock to consolidate in a range of, say, 170, 175 on the higher side, and lower side, the support seems to be a very strong support somewhere around 140, 145.
All right. Vishal, have you had a look at Engineers India? This stock is making new highs when the market's not really going anywhere. Do you think it's good for more, or should investors look at booking profits?
Definitely look for more, because one of my pick for in the morning was Engineers India, and I think it's on a roll, and in the last couple of weeks it has managed to close above the important resistance of 300, which was acting as resistance in the past, and I think we have more room up till at least till 350 to 360 in the next few weeks. So definitely from the long side should be traded.
All right, so positive on EIL. What's your call, Samit, on some of the power finance firms like PFC, REC? Do you see they were called twins and generally used to move together, but now REC seems to be underperforming. Any view on these two stocks?
See, as far as PFC is concerned, we have seen a sharp recovery probably in last 2 to 3 months from low levels. However, the stock is now trading in a strong trend, wherein the lower side 120, 115 seems to be a very strong support. So any dip towards those levels can be interpreted as a very good buying opportunity. This stock on daily as well as weekly chart certainly looks good, and this stock has a potential to move towards say 145, 150 over the next probably 3 to 4 weeks. If you look at the REC chart, probably daily or weekly chart, yes, this has been slightly underperforming as compared to the PFC, but overall if we see daily as well as weekly chart structure is quite positive, and this stock has a very strong support around 120. So we would expect some consolidation to happen around this strong support, but we would see that if one has a time horizon of say 2 to 3 months, then 120, 115 would be a very good buying opportunity, and this stock has a potential to move towards say 140, 142 over the next few months.
All right, can move to 140. That's REC for you. Shrikant, this time, the rail budget is going to be clubbed into the main budget, and the budget is also moved up in time. It will happen earlier. Have you had a look at any of the rail infrastructure stocks? We're seeing, Texmaco, Kalandi, all of these have done well and are looking strong. What should one do with these kind of stocks?
Well, very, very difficult to call those, but normally, yes, we have seen that they tend to move ahead of the railway budget. So, from a trading play, yes, they might be interesting because the government would clearly up the infrastructure spend. That's what is expected. So, from an infrastructure spend point of view, we would expect government to increase infrastructure spend, and some of these companies will clearly be beneficiaries going ahead. But I think playing only for the railway budget does not make a lot of sense, because if you're stuck with those stocks, then you're stuck till the next railway budget. So, one needs to be careful about that as well.
Siddharth, how would you look at Coal India? It's 1.3% higher. Among the metal pack, this would be one name that has not performed. Do you expect Coal India to play a catch-up role?
I don't think so, because if you look at the numbers were also quite vulnerable, the quarterly results, as well as in terms of production is concerned. I think production is also not coming as per the expectations on a quarter-on-quarter basis. I think a lot of things had been worked out post the government came into the fore, and things were streamlined. I think things are again not coming in line. So there are a lot of work need to be done in the Coal India, even the washeries which they were talking about. And because of that, the grade of coal will be improved, and subsequently the realization will improve. I think those all things have not happened till now. So I think one should wait and watch. If someone wants to take a call, is just because of it's a quality blue chip company, then I think a 5-year call would be probably okay. But with a 1-year perspective, I don't think one should get on Coal India.
Right. Any other metal names that you like? Hindalco, Tata Steel, some of them, Vedanta, have done very well. Do you continue to be positive on these names?
Well, metals, non-ferrous and steel, both of them doing good, because China has cut their production. Along with that, what we have seen is globally China being the biggest consumer. So overall, globally, and on the back of President-elect and the kind of rhetoric which was there, spending on infrastructure, I think that is also keeping the metals and base metals higher. So looking at that aspect, I think metals will be doing good, especially the non-ferrous piece.
Right. So would you be tactically positive, or stocks are already factoring in this?
No, we are tactically positive, because I think with a short to medium term, I think stocks will be in the flurry in terms of metals are concerned, although we don't have a coverage on any of the stocks, so we're not able to pinpoint any rating on any particular stock. But overall, what we believe is non-ferrous space would be doing better. Even the steel is good, but relatively non-ferrous looks quite attractive.
Right. Samit, just a word on oil marketing companies. Any view? Yesterday, all of them saw good volumes. However, price action did not match up.
See, the stocks have already given a sharp rally probably in last 5-6 months, and now since last say 3 to 4 weeks we have been witnessing consolidation in the stock. So now these stocks have already rallied quite a lot. Now it's time for them to give some kind of either price wise correction or time wise correction. From this, we believe that the stocks are likely to give time wise correction more rather than price wise correction. If we talk about BPCL, yes, it's been hovering around its strong support since last few days, 60 605, 608 seems to be a very strong support. We expect this consolidation to continue at least for next 2 to 3 weeks. The range would be slightly narrower now, where in the lower side 600, 595 would act as a very strong support, and higher side we would see resistance coming in somewhere around 640, 645.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for speaking with us at NDTV Profit, giving us your picks and views on the stocks that we've discussed. As you go, Shrikant, your disclosures?
No personal holdings, but among the stocks recommended, we would have recommended the same to our clients, and they may have positions in the same.
Siddharth, your disclosures?
I do not have any personal holding on the stocks which I have discussed, but my client and organization must be holding. Thank you.
Sumit, your disclosures?
I don't hold any of these discussed stocks, but yes, our clients might be having positions.
Vishal, your disclosures?
No personal holdings in any of the stocks I discussed today.
Thank you, gentlemen, for speaking with us on NDTV Profit.